Morning, guys. Anybody? So first thing I want to remind you guys today that the quiz is happening. And I think I told you a little bit about it's going to be different format than the last time, right? Where I'm actually giving you until 7 a.m. tomorrow to get it done. But the minute you open the quiz, you'll have an hour and 20 minutes to do it. So you have until 7 to find a time frame when you can get it done and submit it. So everybody's semi with me. So what's going to happen? Oh, let's see. We'll talk more about the quiz in a minute. I want more people to get here, so I don't have to say this like 5 times. Let's start off with, does anyone have questions from homework? All right, I'm an optimist. I'm going to take that to mean homework is going fantastically. Have I created?
I did have not really a question, but something that I was waking up on later after I turned it in, which was the subtract the whole amount. You talking about other Venn diagram things?
Oh, okay, sure.
And that was subtracting the whole amount from what they mentioned in the sentence form to get what was the whole number of what they were asking. Say for if it was 108 entirely in one circle, then I had to subtract the middle number from that to get the whole number.
I am not following you.
You're not following me? Like, okay, let me give
me a specific number to look at. Yeah.
Let me find what page I'm talking about. Like you said, get the middle number first. Remember you were talking about get the middle.
Sure.
Right. You were saying get the middle number first, and what I did, I wasn't subtracting that at first from the whole.
Okay.
You know what I mean? From the whole. So yeah,
okay.
I understand that now. Yeah.
Oh, good. All right, good.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
If you understand it now, that's fantastic. Let me see. So just in general, everybody, if you get behind on homework, the way to prioritize it is the first homework you want to work on is obviously anything related to a quiz that's coming up soon. The second thing you want to work on is the most recent homework. And then the third most important thing is anything else besides that, right? So don't be in section 1-2 homework doing that right now. That makes no sense. Eventually you need to, right? Because the final is going to be cumulative. It's going to cover everything. But if you're like, haven't even started chapter 1 homework, you just got your book and you weren't paying attention to the fact that I actually posted the homework up there for you. Okay. Screw the first sections. Screw them. Do 1-5 through 1-8 and then take the quiz, right? So you want to do, is everybody kind of with me? What the general gist of what I'm saying here is just be smart about the homework. You don't have to do them in order, especially if you are very behind right now. So first thing is what's the next assessment on? Second priority is the most recent stuff, like chapter 2 stuff. And the third priority is older shit. That's how you prioritize homework. And then the fourth priority is corrections. If you have homework you turned in, you have to make corrections because you have until the day of the final to. All right. Let's see. Now more people have joined. Anybody else? I do have one question I want to get to. If there's no other questions anybody has. Okay, so let me do this. I had somebody asking for another example of the stem and leaf. Let me see, how's that? Not too bad. So let's say I had this data here. What you got, Jeff? 1.5, 1.9. You don't have to say it as you write it. All right, man. So I'll give you a minute to write that down if you want to. Where's all my, oh, there they are. Come here, guys. Can anyone see what the obvious stems are? What are the stems?
1, 3, and 4.
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. I love it. By the way, if there were no 2s or something, you would still put them here. It would just be empty. So don't skip anything when you write these down. Man, dang, that's powerful. Jeez. All right. So what's going to go after the 1? Let me see if you guys were paying attention last time.
A 5
Yeah, 5
and 9.
and 9. And then, of course, the rest is 1, 5, 8, 0. I mean, right? 0. And what comes after 3, 0, 1, 3, 5, 9. And what comes after 4, 2. But now, what am I still missing? What do I have to write for somebody? Because right now, this looks like 15, 19. So yeah, the key. So I'd say 1 bar 5 equals 1.5. So the stem is very often the first digit. It depends on what the data looks like, but most of the time it's the first digit. And the leaves are the next digits that come off of this. That's why it makes sense. The stem and then the leaves, right? So this would be the 1 stem, and then I got the 5 and the 9 leaves. This will be the 2 stem, and then I got the 1, 5, 8 leaves. Is that okay? Is that all right? Especially for the person that asked for another example. I'm gonna fall over. No? Yes? Maybe? Yes, okay, thank you. All right. So, I mean, last thing, that's done. This is all done. If, don't even write this down, just pay attention. If the data would have been this, 15, 19, 21, 25, 28, blah, blah. I'm going to have to do them all. Just give me a second. All right. This would have been exactly the same. I would have just written this instead. Do you guys see that? And if it would have been 150, 190, 210, this would have been exactly the same. I would have just written that. I mean, do you guys, yes, maybe. So the key is almost the most important thing because it just tells me what this really represents. This could look exactly the same for a wide range of data points. All right, maybe. I'm not hearing any more questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
So do we always have to write the key?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Because without it, it's like a map without a scale, right? If you go to somewhere you're visiting, you're like, we're here, let's go there. How far away? It doesn't look very far away, and it's like 80 miles away because they didn't put a scale. It's like, damn you, I'm tired. All right.
What page are you
Gavin,
on?
go ahead.
Whoa, what?
Linnell, you can go ahead, sir.
I was wondering, thank you. That's the format that we write it in, stem, leaves, key, like that?
Yeah, and to be honest, you don't need to put those words up there. In fact, it's convention to just put it like this. I just did that to really make sure you knew this is stems and these are the leaves. One stem has a 5 and a 9 as leaves. Yeah. If you put the words up there, I don't care. But normally it's not up there. And I think the stem and leaf, wasn't that section 1.9? Let's see. Yes. So whoever is asking what page we're on, we're not on a page because I just made this up, but this is from section 1.9.
All right, thanks.
Excuse me.
Yes.
When it comes to the questions, it sounds a little bit hard because you don't know exactly what they mean by the question. Like, let's say in the book, I get confused like what they mean, which state has 565. And I see like there, I see number 6, like let's say has 656. I'm not sure.
Sorry, number 6 where?
Page 133, yeah.
33, thank
Question number 7.
you.
And
Okay,
here,
so
like, it's like confusing in this way by asking the question. It's not the thing, the stream and leaves by himself. The question are confusing a little bit for me.
I got you. So they set this up with this stem and leaf plot, and they sort of did something wrong here. Does anybody see what they did wrong over here?
Oh yeah, then 20 and 22.
Yeah, they should represent 10 and
Skip
so
step.
forth, and they would be empty. But oh well, we'll let that go. But at least they have the key down here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Without that, you wouldn't know how to read these. But now I know this means 65, 76, so forth. What does this mean?
200.
200. Exactly. I like it. Now, so how many states had 656 newspapers? I love that question.
The 6.
What does this mean? Let's forget about the question. Forget about the question. Notice the key. 45 means 45. So what does this mean right here?
650.
No, come on now. Come on now.
Wait,
See, number 7. I love that question, but it's evil at the same time. We know what these mean. Look at the key. 4 line 5 means 45. So what does this mean right here?
65 and 66.
65 and
65, 66. Yeah.
Is there any 656? Where would that would be down here, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So is there any states that have 656 newspapers?
No.
0.
No. So what they're trying to do, and that you guys see, that is evil. At the same time, it has to be asked. They need to make sure that you know that this is 2 different data points right here. This isn't 600. This doesn't mean 500,689 right here, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
50, 50, 56. That's all that question is trying to make sure you understand. There are no states that had 656 newspapers.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, how many states had 25 newspapers? You could do that one, right? How many states had 25?
3.
3.
There's 3 25s right there. 25, 25, 25. Is that all right?
Okay. Now I
Okay.
understand.
So number 7, I will agree. Number 7, I don't like it and I love it at the same time because it throws you off. It totally throws you off.
Yeah.
But that is the kind of question that if nobody asked it, I would get very concerned because it should be a little weird.
Yeah.
And now once you see it, you're like, that was a gimme question, but it's kind of designed to really make sure you understand what this is. And then you're not used to this. So you just think, oh, there's 656 right there. But it isn't.
Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Okay.
You feel like
I
it's there. So why is it like it's
But
confusing?
we know better. We know that these are 2 different 65 and
Yeah.
66.
Yeah. Yeah. They are not
So-
added all together. They can be
Exactly.
added all together.
No, they can't. Yeah, exactly. They can't.
Each number by itself for the leaves and stems. And it shows
That's
how
right.
many that it's like in each of them, in like how many has the 5s or 3s, so like that. Okay.
I want to show
Thank
you
you.
something. Yeah, so what if I had a stem and leaf that looked like this, just to show you this possibility. And then my key was 2 line 5 6 means 256. that is a way to make a stem and leaf plot. But my key tells me I read two of these at 120, 128. That's what my key tells me, right?
Yes.
The key tells me how to interpret each element. So now I would do 256, 260, because that's how this was put together. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I really, it was a great time to do that because the key is what puts everything together. And this key said, number 7 is crazy. That's exactly what the key said. He said, man, that 7 is talking weird shit though. Yeah. Anything else from homework? You're fine, Ryan. Don't worry. I can relate to that. I forgot to check my Wi-Fi now that you said that, so we'll see what happens. Every morning I got to check it, but I forgot this morning. We'll see what happens. Okay, anything else? Okay. All right, not hearing anything else. So now that more people have joined, I'm still, several people are missing, but let's talk a little bit about how the quiz is gonna work. Oh, okay. All right, somebody just had to leave, darn it. Maybe I'll wait a minute until they come back. Let's do this. So everybody remembers there's a quiz today, right? Yes, of course you do. It's not going to be taken during class time. The way it's going to work is once class is over, you'll be able to access the quiz. So once we're done with class, you'll be able to access the quiz in Canvas. And let me show you what it's going to look like. Where are you guys? There you are. Okay, let me put you back over there. Do. Okay, so you are not going to be able to see what I can see. You'll be able to see this. If you go to modules right now in the quizzes module, you'll see these two things here. If you click on quiz 2, it'll say it's locked. Nah. Well, it won't say nah. But later when it unlocks, you'll see this. Once you click on take the quiz, there will be a button that says take the quiz. You will have an hour and 20 minutes to complete it. Everybody with me so far? I did not design the quiz to take that long. I padded it in case you have technical difficulties or weird shit happens or just to alleviate some anxiety. You with me? So it's not a quiz that was designed to take this long. All right, but you can use that whole time if you need it. Do the work on another sheet of paper. If you want to, you can print it out. You'll have to copy it and like put it into Word or something and print it out. So if you want to print it out, you can. You do not need to. When you're done with the quiz, let me see if I can do this. I should have prepped this before. All right, let me see what happens if I do this. I don't want to show you all the, ooh, there's some questions down there. Let me go back. So what I need to do is this. I need to zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right, so when you click on it, there'll be questions down there. See, there's questions down there. And at the very bottom, well, let's see, I'm not really in there. You'll see at the very bottom, there'll be a text box. And I want you to type in the time that you got done. Then you submit the quiz. Now, stay with me, stay with me. This isn't that bad. So you access the quiz. You do the work on another sheet of paper. Then you type in the time you're done and you hit this button. Then you scan your quiz.
Jeff.
Hold on just a minute. Let me get all this stuff out. Then you scan your quiz and you submit it here. Just like you're submitting homework, right? All right, now go ahead, Sal.
Thank you, Jeff. And I'm just kind of like, what if we don't have a scanner to, what if we don't have a scanner to turn in the quiz? And
So I have put up here many, many, many scanning apps for phones, right? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so depending on what kind of phone you have, there's a lot of these different apps. So if you go to the Canvas site on your phone, you can just click on Android or iPhone and download the app. Um, Anybody using the apps have one that you really, really like?
Oh,
Where
I
my
see
Android?
what you're saying. I understand. All right.
Yeah.
I'll
So
make it work. Not a problem.
at this point, you have turned in some homework somehow. You actually emailed it to me. You need to turn it in on Canvas, but you did take a picture of it and you did send it to me. So you do the exact same thing with the quiz. You do the exact same thing. You just turn it in on Canvas. You turn it in when you're done with the quiz. You turn it in where it says submit quiz to here. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
And just so you know, I didn't want to do this where there's two, you hit this to get the quiz and you hit this to submit it. I didn't want to, but if I make you upload it here, it sucks so bad for me and for you. I have to download each one manually for each student, grade it in a different application, re-upload it, and then send it to you. Shit. So the first class I did this with, I quickly learned not to do that. So, and listen to me very carefully now. You ready? If your time is almost up and you are having crazy ass technical issues, just email me the scan and then keep trying to upload it. The email will show me you were done in time. Do you understand? There's no reason to 8 hours later say, "Oh man, Jeff, I was done on time. I just couldn't upload it till then." No, I'm sorry. No. You have the time you have, and if it's getting to the crunch time, just email it to me and keep trying to upload it. Does everybody understand? Anybody not understand how this is going to work?
By what time do you want this quiz to be done? Because I
Good
have
question.
somebody coming over to do some plumbing work around 10.
And you
And
have to hand them tools and stuff. So
no,
you have
no,
until
but I like to
you
have
have
the
until
house alone. And
you
if
have
they,
until Thursday. You have until tomorrow at 7 a.m. So
oh, I
anytime
see.
but the end of class and tomorrow morning at
That's a good joke, I guess.
7.
All right.
All right. No, I understand. You don't want weird strangers coming in and bothering you while you're trying to take a quiz. I understand.
Yeah, I get irritated with noise easily, but yeah,
I got you.
thanks. All right,
No
cool.
worries. All right, let me think. Is everybody with me on that? So I made it due tomorrow morning at 7, just in case somebody goes to work right after class and then you work all night and then you can get up early and do it. I did not do that so that you get up at 6:47 and try to do it in 13 minutes. That is not why I did this, right? I also did this because I want to actually try to grade them somehow tomorrow before class. So hopefully more of you guys will turn it in today. So then I can grade the few that trickle in tomorrow morning, if any. Does everybody understand? So I'm hoping to reclaim some class time and to make it a little less awkward, because it's always awkward sitting here on Zoom watching people take a quiz. It's always exciting. And just to make sure you guys understand, there are several versions of the quiz. So I have Canvas set to randomly pick one for you when you log in. So be very careful. I've had a couple of students who turned in answers that were not on their quiz. So if you're going to cheat, you have to do a lot more work than that. But I'm not saying I think any of you are going to cheat. I just have to do that to keep the integrity. Oh, but you don't have to work until tomorrow morning at 7, do you? So if anybody has a valid reason they cannot find time between the end of class and tomorrow morning, just email me, explain it to me, and I can individually give you some allowances. But I really think you should be able to find time between the end of class and tomorrow morning. I think that should be possible, but let me know. That could be false for somebody. I understand. Okay. All right, so any other questions on how this is going to work? I mean, if things get really weird, just scan it and email it to me, right? So there's always that option so that you don't have any weirdness about trying to prove to me that you got it done. Just scan it and email it to me if things are getting weird. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So anything else before we get back into where we left off?
Can we look at section 1.7, number, I think 7. Wait, sorry. Yes, number 7.
7. All right. Whoa. Where are you? There you are. Okay, number 7. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Let me share this real quick. Pop. So the important number is, this is the one, right? The one about the rich ass people.
Yes.
Which is one way to talk about them. So they pay 7.88 times 10 to the 6th dollars. What percentage is that of the government's revenue? And the government's revenue is 3.02 trillion. So 3.02 times 10 to the something. So how do you?
To the 12?
So, yes. So is
So
the
it's
problem?
asking,
Go ahead. Sorry.
okay, sorry. So I guess I might have read this weird. Is it asking what the percentage of one average millionaire's tax write-off compared to the total?
I understand, because they didn't give you enough information to do anything except what you just said. Right? They didn't tell me
So is that
how
what,
many taxpayers there are. So it's a slightly poorly worded problem. But they basically want you to take the percentage of that this is of the total revenue. See how they didn't tell me how many people pay this kind of tax, right?
We will put 3.02 times 10 to the 12th and do how you said, subtract the tens.
And be really careful. What will the work look like if you set this up? What's going to be on the top? What's going to be on the bottom?
The 3.02 at the top. I think I did too much on my thing.
3.02 is not at the top. So if the government took in $100, if the government took in $100 and this was 20, what percentage of the total would the 20 represent? 20 out of 100. So you do the exact same thing with the bigger numbers. It'll be this out of this. So it's going to be a number less than 1, which makes sense because it's supposed to be a percentage. Okay, maybe. Everybody cool with that? Is that all right? Okay, I'm going to assume yes. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to guess, was it about right here? Oh, I got close. All right. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'm going to start to get ready to get back in where we left off. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, here we go. So let me do this. Let's talk a little bit about the idea behind what we're about to do. So I believe we discussed the average already. Maybe not, I can't remember now. But the word we use for the average in mathematics is we call it the mean. I don't know if anybody's ever heard that word. Besides to describe, to describe me. It's not like saying Jeff is mean. The mean is the word we use in math to describe what we call the average. All right. So how would I find, so for example, if I had this set of data here, how would I find the average of this? Let me see if they use any symbols.
You add it and divide by the
Yeah, you add them up and divide by how many there are. I just wanted to see if they gave any symbols to you guys. No, okay. Yeah, I don't think I'll do that to you. That would be a little freaky. So to find the mean, if I put it in words, add them up, divided by how many there are. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. And help me out now. If you add those up, does somebody see what you get?
445, something like that. 300.
That's right. And then when you divide that, you get 111.25.
Yeah.
Let me.
0.25.
I'm pretty sure it's 0.25, is it? I could be wrong. I don't know.
You're right.
Okay, thank you. I know I was right because it's 444 fourths, which is 111, and 1/4 extra, which is 25 cents. Okay. Yes.
What page are you in section 2.1?
I'm not ever on a page necessarily because this is a problem I made up. So the ideas in section 2.1 are mean, median, and mode. And I think I brought up those names yesterday, but there are different ways to figure out where the middle is. That actually is my point, Cameron. We're getting there. Hold on. So no, we shouldn't. If I say what's the average of these, you better not remove shit because then you're lying, right? But what you're thinking about is this. You ready? You ready? What if these are the salaries in thousands? Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. What if these are the salaries at a tiny company? Who is this? You could do it. So this person is making 40,000, 50,000, 55,000. Who is this?
Boy,
The owner.
The boss person, right?
or the boss person?
Yeah, could be boss man, boss woman, right? So it is the owner, the head, the whatever, the chief, the big kahuna, whatever the shit. Everybody with me? CEO. All right. So if I was about to start working at this company, at this tiny little place, and I said, how much money could I expect to make? Well, what's the average salary? $111,000, right? $111,250. Let me stop right there. Let me know the minute I lose you. Is that honest? If somebody that works there says, oh yeah, you can expect around 111,000. And I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. Is that honest?
No.
No. So I don't know if you guys noticed Cameron's point in the chat is perfect. But instead of removing the outlier, you could, but here's a different way we do this. There's a lot of different ways that are a little bit deeper that I want to get into this. There's another measure of center, which is called the median. So whenever you see a story about home prices in this area in San Diego County, You will never see them talk about the average home price, or very, very, very infrequently. Most of the time they talk about the median home price, because the median doesn't care about outliers. It just cares about what's in the middle. What's the number that's in the middle of all the numbers? So what's a little bit freaky about this list is there a number that is right in the middle? If you have 4 numbers, is there a number that's right in the middle?
No.
If I had 5 numbers, there's a number in the middle, right? It's this one. No, I'm joking. There'd be a number right in the middle. But I have 4 numbers, so there's no number that's right in the middle. There seems to be 2 numbers in the middle, right? I really want you guys with me. So the average is a way to get the middle of the data in terms of what the data points all are. It will be affected by what's called outliers. Extreme values will affect the mean. The median is just like the median in the road. It is the middle of the road. It doesn't give a shit what this number is and what that, it just cares about what's in the middle. So if I have 4 numbers, Jeff, you could do it, and they're in order, the middle would be the average of these 2. So what's the average? Wouldn't that be in the, if I have 4 numbers, what's in the middle? Well, it would be the middle of these 2. That would be what's in the middle.
Add 50 and 55 divided by 2.
Yes. If I said, that sounds more like they're being honest. If I said, okay, guys, if I start working here, how much can I expect to make? About 52,500. That is much more honest than 111,000, right? Maybe. Let's do some more examples of median, because I'm almost certain you guys are all cool about averaging numbers. That you know how to do that already. You add them all up and divide by how many there are. The median thing is a different beast. Does somebody have a question out there? You guys all right? Okay.
Jeff, isn't it basically the same thing except less numbers?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Like the median, you just added to 2 instead of the 4.
Yeah.
And then divided by half.
Why did I have to add these 2? Why did I do that? Will I always do that? No. What if I had 5 numbers? Is there a middle number?
Yes.
There you go. So then I wouldn't add shit. I would just say that's the median. So let's do some more examples of median.
Okay.
All right. So let's look at median. So say I have this data here. What would the median be?
Seven.
Yes. 7's in the middle. Right? No extra work. So when there's an odd number of numbers, there will be a middle guy. When there's an even number, oh shit, I'm going to have to average the 2 in the middle. Do you see how I didn't care about this? In fact, if I make this 5,000, does that change the median? Is the median not 7 anymore since I made that 5,000?
No. Still
7.
But the mean would change a lot, right? So this is why we have those 2. There's a third one we're about to talk about, but there's another reason for it. But the reason we have 2 is because if there are extreme values, the mean could be skewed in that direction. The mean could be pulled in that direction. So I'd rather use the median. So that's why you talk about home prices in La Jolla. You talk about median home price. When you talk about salaries, you talk about median salary. Okay, maybe. Has anyone ever seen that word in articles or something when talking about home prices? Maybe? No? You're like, article? No, Jeff, no. I understand. Okay. So what about this one? There you go. You can do it, Jeff. There you go, buddy. I will tell you right now, this is a slightly trick question.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
4 and 7.
4 and 7.
The median.
8.
4 and 7 is wrong answer. What's the matter with this list of data?
It has to be in
What
order.
has to be in order. If they didn't have to be in order, I could make the median anything I wanted it to be, and I could lie my ass off, right? Thankfully, that if you wanted to use stats to lie, you do have to do a little bit more work than that. So it always has to be in order for it to make any sense. So let's put this bad boy in order. So it goes 4,
6,
7.
7.
Oh, there's 6. Thank you.
4, 6, 7.
6, 7, 9,
9,
11,
11, 14.
14. And like I heard Linnell say, there are 6 numbers, right? So it's going to have to average those. So we've finally caught up to the person that said, what's in between? You don't even have to do that. What's in between 7 and 9?
8.
8.
Done. All right. You only have to like add them and divide by 2 if you can't like see what's in the middle of them. But I can see what's in the middle of 7 and 9. And if you do add them, 7 plus 9 is 16, divided by 2 is 8. How's everybody feeling? Anybody feeling lost out there? You guys all right? So what are the 2 things that can happen? It could be the middle number. There is a middle number. It is the middle number when they're in order. If there is no middle number, there's 2 in the middle. You average those after you've put them in order. I like it. That's really all there is to it.
You just Hey Jeff,
Yes.
are you just reviewing section 1.9?
No. This
Or
is section
2.1? But these are just practice samples.
This is the idea behind these things.
All right. I know I'm lost right now, but I'm trying to.
So let's do another one. So I'm going to put these 2 in order already, but in general, you have to put them in order if they aren't. So if I have, let me see, do you see how there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? There will be a middle number then.
Yes, I see that.
So then you can just do this.
At any case, what if it's not an even? What if it's an even number?
Okay, we'll do another one like that. So if there's an odd number, there is a number in the middle. The median would be that number. And of course, it has to be in order. If there's an even number,
6 numbers.
I'm going to make 8 just because.
All right. Oh, jeez. All right, 1 second, Jeff. Go ahead. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. I think the guys are here for the plumbing, but I'll be right back.
All right, all right. So of course, what would happen here, guys?
You take the number in between 9 and 11.
Yeah, so 9 and 11 are in the middle. I have no idea. I have this weird fascination with 9 and 11. I'm sorry. So then the median would be
10.
in the between 9 and 11, so it would be 10. Anybody have issues with that? Is everybody all right? Okay. All right, all right. So the median is relatively nice in the grand scheme of things. There's only two things that could happen. So if there's an odd number, there will be one in the middle. If there's an even number, you have to average the two that are in the middle. And I really want that to make sense. Isn't the number that's in the middle of these perfectly in the middle of all of them? Does that just make sense? I mean, the number that's in the middle of these is the exact middle of all of them. That's exactly what the median is supposed to tell us. So the number 10 is right in the middle of all the data points. Would the median change if I do this? No. Would the median change if I do this? Let's make this 0.0001. Yeah.
No.
No, the median don't give a shit. It's still 10 right in the middle, right? So again, the mean is affected by outliers, by extreme values. So if you have extreme values in your data set, you might want to use the median instead of the mean, which is why they do that for home prices and why they do that for salaries. Okay. I like it. Hey, Mikey. So let's talk about the mode, and then I've got a problem I want you guys to work on. So this is the third way to measure the center of something, and this is a very different idea. The mode is the number that occurs the most. Mode, most.
Jeff,
Yes.
would you, at any other point, you have only two numbers and you have to find the median and those two numbers are off by a difference?
So if I have to find, so if the middle numbers were 10 and 15, right? Let's
Yes.
pretend like the middle numbers are 10 and 15. How do I find the middle of those?
Yes.
Well, I add them and divide by 2. I just find their average.
And how do you find the average?
Well, you do this. You add them and then divide by 2. And isn't 12.5 right in between 10 and 15?
Yes.
Now, there are other ways. How far apart are these? 5. Cut that in half, 2.5. Add that to 10, 12.5. I mean, there's other ways to do this, but the most direct way is average them. How do you average any two numbers? Add them, divide by 2. That's how you get the middle number between any two numbers. Okay.
All right. That's a cool shirt. All right.
Thank you. So the mode, so for example, here, let me start off with a weird one. Not really weird. Is there a mode here?
No.
Nope, no mode. I like it. That's simple. There's no number that occurs the most. They all occur once.
Oh, the mode is the number that gets repeated in. Okay. All right. It's up there. I should read. Yeah.
So what if I had this, of course? What's the mode now?
7.
7. Amazing. So what if I had this?
Do you average 7 and 11?
No.
7 and 11.
I like it. It would be called bimodal.
What do you what exactly do you use like this type of math and for what like purpose? What's the purpose of this?
This is for statistics. I think we all understand the importance of average. And I think you all, even though you might not have worked with it before, you can see how important median is. But it's a way to represent a sample of data quickly to somebody, if you just tell me the average, you don't tell me all 800 numbers, but you tell me the average, that tells me something. So if you told me next door the average age is 78, I'm like, wow, what kind of meeting is happening next door? You don't have to tell me all the ages. If I know the average is 78, that tells me something right there, right? So the average is a quick summary of data. It is not good enough by itself, but
Hey,
it's better than looking at 800 data points.
No, I'm listening. I'm listening, Jeff. So, at any point, do you have a question that's asking you for the mode, the median, on one?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah. All right. That's okay.
And then you could have trimodal, but then once it gets more than 3, they just say there really isn't a mode. Okay. Let me stop for a minute. Is everybody with me? This, I want to put one more idea in your head about mode. If I had list of hair colors, could you find the average hair color? Don't think about this too much.
No.
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 Could you find the median hair color? No. Could you find the modal hair color? Yes. So mode is the only version of center that works for data that isn't numerical. So even if you're like, I don't give a shit about mode, it doesn't seem to do much, it's the only one that works if my data is like types of cars or hair color or type of bird, right? Do you guys see that? You guys all right with me? You guys okay out there?
Hey,
Yes, Sal.
Jeff.
Yes.
All right. So for questions on a test or an exam, when it comes to statistics, they're going to be asking like questions like they're going to be specific on mode and medium, but they're going to have a particular question to it depending on what's asking. Like they're going to use a sample sentence saying, find the median.
Yeah, they have to tell you what to do. Yes. And there could be some that tell you to do all 3 things. Let's try one. Let me ask you to do all 3 things.
What's the third thing? Like,
all right, let's summarize what we've learned so far. We have mean, which is really just what we call average, right? We have, what's the next one?
Median.
Median, which is just the number in the middle. And then we have
mode,
which is the number that occurs the most. Right? So please find all 3 things for this list of grades. Let's say I have a small class and here's the grades that they make on something. You can use a calculator, by the way. Okay, I like it. So take a minute.
Thanks for putting it in order.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I figured you got to be careful in the homework though. They might not put everything in order. So, but good point. This is in order. So one of those should be easy to find relatively. So just take a few minutes and try to figure out all 3 measures of center. Figure out what these 3 things are. What time we got? Okay. There I am. Hello, students. Come on later. Jaw. So let me see. Has anyone got the mean figured out? What do you get when you add all these together?
62.5.
It's
Oh,
that's what you get for the mean. What do you get?
sorry. If you add them,
You're okay.
when you
You're
add
okay.
them, you get 813.
And then
Yeah,
how many
sorry.
data points are there? Lucky number
11.
13.
13 data points, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Oh.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then when you do this, you do get what you said. You get, and I would tell you to round. I'd probably tell you to round to the 10th place, 10th decimal place. So we'd round this. Is that all right? Everybody all right? All right. What
So,
about the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Jeff, when it comes to mean, you add all the numbers and then you divide them by the total of numbers and you
Yes.
get, all right.
And,
That's the
and
mean.
I'm almost certain that you all have done some kind of an average in your life. And you know what the word average means. You add them all up and divide by how many there are. We just call it the mean to be more specific. Because to be honest, this is another version of average. So we call it the mean. What we call the average, we call it the mean to be more specific.
And now, I don't know if it's just me, but I like to use the numbers like these numbers would be representing some type of item or some type of criteria, category, grades. Okay. So each item represents a grade for each student.
Yes.
All right.
I like it. So there's
So
13
for study,
data
sorry.
points. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So if a study says like the average whatever house price or like grade or whatever, you should probably check if it's an average or a median or whatever, or if it's a mean or a median.
In everyday language, this word means this.
Oh, gotcha.
Colloquially, this word means this. If I see this word in a more technical, mathematical, it could mean more than one thing, and it could actually mean even more than I've written up here. So it's to be more specific in math, we call it mean. And math people, we like 4-letter words, in general, but we like 4-letter words that start with the letter M because it goes along with math. So we call this the mean. And then median, we just can't count sometimes. So that's why there's 6 letters. Anyway, bad joke.
You guys are weird.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. I own that. I think you know that I own that. So what about median? What's nice about the fact that it's 13 numbers?
The middle.
Middle number.
And let me show you a little trick. To get the median, one thing I could do is I could take 13. I could take how many there are, add 1, and divide by 2. I get 7. So the 7th number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the median. Is that what somebody else got?
Yep.
Yeah. So that little trick is neat. If you take how many you got, add 1, divide by 2, you take that number. If I get something like 7.5, that means average the 7th and the 8th one, because that's what's going to happen if I have an even number. If you don't like what I just said, screw what I said. Just do this. But this is nice when the list gets kind of long, right? You don't want to go, okay, only 80 more to go. It's like, holy shit. Okay, maybe it's just a little shortcut,
Do you always, is that your formula?
Yeah, this is a cool little formula for figuring out the median. This when you do this, that's not the answer. That tells me where the median is, the 7th number would be the median.
Well, that's going to be a lot faster. We have so many questions that you have to go
That's
through.
exactly what I'm saying. So you don't have to do this forever. Yeah. So there's the mean. There's the median. What's the mode?
0.
Zero?
Zero.
0. So as a teacher, I cannot focus just on this. If I only look at this, how am I feeling about this quiz? If I just look at this,
They need some help.
We suck.
yeah, I'm thinking everybody sucks. Oh my God, right? Or I suck. I suck really hard. What the shit did I do wrong? But if I look at the median, let me see if you guys understand what this really means. What does this 90 really mean? Why am I so shaky? Am I shaky out there? Am I having an earthquake?
Too much
Or is my
coffee.
wi- Oh, I don't mean like that. I mean like my whole
It's kind of
room is-
delayed a little bit.
Okay. Sorry. What was I saying? Wait. What does that 90 really mean? It's the number that's right in the middle. So what percentage of the students scored higher than this?
50%.
50%?
50% scored lower. So what I got to realize is I can't focus on this. Why was this so low? Because these extreme values took it down so low. And maybe these are people that didn't even fill out anything. They just, right?
So is your answer 62.5 for all? Is that your?
I have
Well,
three
that's for
answers.
the mean. That's for the mean. Yes, you have 3 answers.
I have 3 answers. What I'm trying to show you is why would I calculate all 3 of these? This coupled with that tells me that this is the more likely. There are extreme values that are dragging my mean down. I don't want to go in the next day and say, you guys suck or I suck or something sucks, because look at all these people here. Holy shit. So what's most likely about these people? They didn't cheat right. I mean, they didn't study.
They're not average. So
They didn't study, or they didn't try, or they don't care, or whatever, something. More than likely. Or I didn't explain it in the right way for some of these people, right? Like they think about something differently, and I didn't do a good enough job of explaining it. So but I can't come down on all my students because of this number. Anyway. So I just want to show you a real life example that you and I are all living right now as to why you would want to calculate more than just the average. All right, that's my hope for that example. Okay, so I had a question earlier about related to what the homework is going to look like. I'm just trying to move my head in case somebody's still copying something down. Blah, blah, blah. So let's look at the homework real quick, just to show you what it's going to look like. Pop. So that whenever they share with you something that looks like it comes from Excel, don't freak out a lot. It's just another way to give you a list of data, right? So here you got exam 1, exam 2, and they ask you, so this is kind of answering your question, Sal. They tell you very specifically, find the mean for exam 2, find the median for exam 2, find the mode for exam 2, right? So yeah. What the hell? This book is weird sometimes. And then it says redo those. And this is sort of like going to Cameron's point. What is the outlier in exam 2? You can tell really quickly.
0.
So what I do is, unfortunately, sometimes, like I think I told you, I had to give a few zeros on a quiz because a couple people obviously cheated. So when I go to figure out the quiz average, I do not count those zeros because it's not indicative of what anybody did. Does that make sense? I throw out those values because it doesn't really give me a feel for things. Okay. So this is kind of getting at that Creed didn't show up, right? He was stuck at the office. No? Nobody watched The Office? Okay. Anyway, so that, let me see, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and then it asks you some conceptual questions. Which value that you calculated would actually be the best one to use? Let me see. Yeah, and that's quick. It's a very quick little section, and then it gives you the prep skills for the next section. And you can see a lot of old skills. Look at this. That should look very familiar right here, right? Maybe? Does that look familiar to anybody?
Yes.
Scientific reasoning.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
finding a
It's not
percentage.
Yeah,
Times.
it's
Interest.
don't look at the exponent and think scientific notation. Exponents mean more than just scientific notation. This is a what percent increase for how many years is one way to look at this.
500.
5% for 12 years.
5% for 12 years, right? Yes? Does it ask you to do what I just did? No, I'm just trying to remind you where we've seen that expression before. That's all, right? And then there's a lot of order operations. So what will the next section be? We're going to start talking more about algebraic stuff. So section 2.1 was getting into a little tiny step into statistics.
Can you go back to?
Sure. And then section 2.2 will be getting back into some more algebraic stuff. So what's up? What do you want to look at?
The prep questions.
This right here?
Yeah, and number B. Can you do that just as a quick review? Just quickly. Would you mind
Which
doing
B?
it?
This B.
Yes, sir.
You throw that in your calculator.
So you will do the 5% times 12, and then times.
Whoa. What's this 12? What is it? What's that 12 mean?
What does that 12 mean?
Where
you
is
said,
it? It's sort of like, it's not times 12. What does that 12 mean? What does that 3 mean right there? This 3. What does that 2 mean right there? What does that 5 mean right there?
The numbers being, it's -3 times to the third power. So you would times -3 times 3 times 3, right?
You actually said that correctly, because there's only one negative, but there's 3 3s. I love it. So this 12 means you have 12 1.05s multiplying each other. So there's no way in hell I would make you do that by hand, right?
All right. But so you would multiply. So when it comes, the rule of thumb for these questions, like, can you just show me a quick review? I know that I have an idea on how to go about it, but if you wouldn't mind just giving us a quick review and doing it yourself one more time. I know that's in the past section. I mean, in the past already.
No, I have no problem doing that. Hold on. I'm pulling up my calculator so I can show you what it would look like. And again, if you have a scientific calculator, it still should look mostly like this. Hold on. So let me do a different problem. So if I had 3,000 times parenthesis, I'm going to put it in just like it looks. 1 plus 0.04. So that's a 4% increase each year, right? And so on a scientific calculator, the to the button might look like X to the Y. On a graphing calculator, it looks like the little caret. And let's say I do that for 11 years. So if I have $3,000, I put it into a 4% account that's compounded yearly, and I leave it in there for 11 years.
So would you calculate 3,000 times 4%, and then that answer multiplied 11 times?
What did I do that just now?
I think so.
No.
No? All right.
Right.
So,
See, I don't understand. So all I did was, doesn't this look exactly like the problem in the book, except that was 2,000, that was 5, and that was 12? I just typed it directly into the calculator and let the calculator do it for me. If I had to do it by hand, that would so suck, because I'd have to multiply 1.04 times itself 11 times. But if I just put this in the calculator goes, okay, I do that, and I'm hardwired for that, so I can do it really quickly. So so if I had $6,000 and I put it into an account that earned 7%, Jeff, you could do better, 7%, and I left it in there for 8 years. That's what I would type in the calculator, and then I just hit enter to see how much money I would have at the end of 8 years.
What do you calculate first though? Do you calculate the percentage times the exponent? The 8th
So you're
power?
asking me, I guess you're asking me, because I didn't have to do any of that shit right here, right? I just
Yeah.
typed in the calculator. If
Yeah,
I had to do it by hand. And we know the answer to this. So let me give you a problem that you could actually do by hand.
Well, I don't want to do anything by hand, but I just want to know on how to do it. Right? Make sure.
Well, so there's no way I can answer that question without actually doing a problem and showing you.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem that was in the book was one that I would never ask anyone to do by hand, right? So let me show you one that I could ask somebody to do by hand. Okay. Do you see how it's basically the same operations? Yes, maybe. A coefficient, a number plus a number, and then a power. What would you do first? What does order of operations say you do first?
The addition.
Yes, so you get
Rinse.
4 times. What?
So it's 5 to the 2nd power.
Good. And then what's next?
Then you multiply the 5.
No.
No?
We did this. Now what's next?
I don't know.
Exponents.
Exponent. So you multiply 5 times 4. 5 times 5 is 25.
Good. Yeah. And then finally, you do the last thing, which
Well,
is
I had thought I said that initially. So it's addition, multiplication, and then you do the parentheses, which.
Well, no. Now, so parentheses were first. We did inside the parentheses. Exponents were next, and now multiplication. 4 times 25. Yeah. Cool. I couldn't show you this here because this would be unbelievably disgusting, right? I like it. So if you had to do a problem like this by hand, it would look like this. It would be numbers we could actually work with, but you'd have to use order operations. I like it. Okay. I think, yeah, all right. So I want to go ahead and end class, and I believe I made the quiz so that it unlocks. Oh, it's already unlocked. So if you get into Canvas, so I'm going to end class. If anyone wants to start the quiz now, I'll hang out and make sure that you get in there and you see what to do. Otherwise, you're free to go and you can start the quiz later as long as you get it done by 7 a.m. tomorrow. So everybody with me. Be careful. Don't access the quiz and then say, I'll do that later. The minute you open the quiz, it will start the timer, right?
All right.
So be really careful. So I'll hang out for a minute. If you have a question or if you want to try to open the quiz, make sure you can open it. If you want to do it right now. Go ahead, Sal. Sorry.
So you said that it's fine if once we open the quiz, it's going to give us like the time's going to start ticking.
Yes.
And you want us to do it on paper and scan it over to you, right? That's the only way that you're going to accept it.
That's right. So see here how the timer is running. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing screen. See here how the timer started? So I previewed the quiz, and this is what it's going to look like when you open it up. And what you can do is you can hide that in case it freaks you out, right? You can hide the timer.
Yeah, it can give you like anxiety in a sense.
I know. So you can hide it so you don't have to worry about it. The problems will be down here. And then once you're done with the quiz, there'll be a little text box. You just type in the time you're done and you hit this. And then you go submit it, right? You submit the quiz where it says submit the quiz.
All right.
Any
Was
technical
that about
difficulties?
under 10 questions?
Say again?
Was that about under 10 questions that I saw?
I think it came out to be 10. Counting, I always
Oh, okay,
count the
cool.
ABCs, right? I always count the, because I always hate when the teacher's like, there's 4 problems and it's A through J. And I'm like, ain't 4 problems. What the shit?
Hey,
So if I remember
Jeff.
correctly,
All
it
right,
came
makes
out to
sense.
10 exactly, yeah.
So
Clearly,
the first
Yeah.
page labeled quiz 2. I don't want to open it because I don't want to start it yet, but we input in the text box what time we started and finished. And then the second where it says submit, that's where we put the scan.
Yeah, and to be really honest, I had to make you guys answer it or else it wouldn't let me make the quiz. So I made it a text box answer. So that's kind of like what stops the timer, is if you type in the time you're done. I could have said type in your favorite color, to be really honest. I am going to know exactly what time you started and exactly what time you ended, no matter what. But I just had to tell you to type something in there. Okay, just to give you the whole story. And then just to show you real quick, if I come in as a student, and just to show you what it's going to look like, you go to the quizzes module. You can see this is where you access the quiz, the little rocket dude. And this is where you actually turn it in when you're done. So if you click here, see here, it hasn't started yet. So I just want to make sure I click quiz 2. When I hit take the quiz, that's what makes the timer start. And then even if you exit Canvas, the timer is going to keep going. So don't, you know, all right. And I think I told you guys
And when
there
you
are
hit,
multiple versions of this quiz, so be careful. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
when you hit take the quiz, it'll give you your quiz version on that page?
That's right. So when you hit take the quiz,
Okay,
it
gotcha.
randomly assigns you one of the options I programmed in for the questions you'll get. Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
I like it.
Jeff,
Yes.
and I know that it's only 10 questions, and this is just like to get you set ready for the next class and so on and so on. But what's average? How long? What's like the rule of thumb when it comes to taking exam and quizzes? Like, how long are you supposed to take on a question? Like, is it a minute, less than a minute?
So what you can do, if there's 10 questions total and you have 80 minutes, you should average how many minutes per question?
I know. Okay, so you would.
I mean, you start there as a student. You
just
start
make.
there. You go, yeah.
So you're saying make your math based off on how many questions in total you're going to be going through and your amount of time that is set?
I mean, that's a place to start. So you know
Right.
you have roughly 8 minutes on average per question. So if you're noticing you're taking 9 minutes on a question and you don't feel like you're near done, move on. Finish
How do
the
you-
other ones and then come back to that one if you have time.
How do you perfect that? If you're trying to like create like some type of groove that helps, because like, I mean, you're learning the way you learn and you're learning the way you take quizzes, and you want to make sure that you're able to.
Sure. So it just takes practice. So when I'm taking a quiz, what I do is I don't necessarily start with number 1. I scan the quiz and I go, okay, that one I know I can do. So I get that done and that raises my confidence level. And then I go back to number 1 and I kind of think, okay, do I want to start this one now? And then you have to be at a point where if you're working something out and you feel like you're going the wrong direction, let it go. Go to a different problem. Because what really sucks is if you get stuck on a problem, time runs out, and you're like, I could have done numbers 5 and 6 if I would have just gone to them. That's what really sucks if you leave problems completely blank, right?
No, that sounds good. Like, so to avoid the blockage and the waste of time being wasted. All right.
Yeah, don't work linearly necessarily. Find the one you know for sure, do it. You know, get that done. That builds up confidence. Get the ones done that you know you can do, so you don't run out of time. And
it's more like a distraction, right? Like, because I can find myself just like overthinking about it, and
Yes.
when I'm not thinking about it, it just happens. It's being done smoothly. But when I
Yes.
run into something that I have to think about, that I don't know and I want to figure it out, I can get stuck on trying to figure it out. So time is just being wasted.
So
and
you
wasted.
have to be more aware. You have to kind of like step out of that a bit and go, okay, me, I'm taking too long on this one. I desperately need to go to a different one, and let that one go for a moment. And as you're working out the stuff, your subconscious is kind of working on that one. So when you
Yeah.
come back to it, you might have a better idea of what to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good question. Yeah. Okay. How's
All right.
everybody else?
I'm gonna leave. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.
All right, Sal. Good luck with the plumbing.
Thank you. All right, sir. You have a great day. Bye.
Take care, man.
Yeah.
You guys all right? Everybody else? Ruben, Joel, Sam, are you guys out there? You guys? Ruben, are you there? I'm gonna head out. All right.